Kevin Cass. So I made this as a post to Facebook, but I'm going to read it off to you because I think I did pretty good at expressing it. It seems to be a great difficulty for all of us. And it's about the three paths. So here we go. When you wake up and see the world for the truth that it is, that many will see as horrors, the ups and the downs and the in-between, you will know and you will see it for as it is. You are then tasked with a choice, should you not plunge back into your former suffering and illusion. But it takes much discipline in choosing a path. Many will walk in circles. These woods have 3 clearings. Don't stray far from the path. The path in the middle. 1. Find peace in knowing the world. For even in its horror, you now know. There is no further illusion, for you see things as they are, and it doesn't have to affect you, should you discipline and dedicate yourself to walking down this path here in the middle. You know of the real world. Monk it out. Be quiet, as to not cause trouble with primitives still trying to find this road, lost in the dance that you once were. Monk it out. Eat, and serve the nature that sustains you. Be simple. Live to die at the end. 2. The path on the left. Take advantage of the people now that you know. They willingly choose to ingest poisons, and they will never be more than they are, these groups, and you cannot make them more. Since you know this, use them within their constraints and limitations, and take advantage of them. It's not evil. After all, they don't want to be more, remember? 3. The path on the right. Try to save them by teaching them awareness and love. Bombard them with healthy ideas, as they bombard themselves with toxic stories. Teach another way of being and doing and going about things. Help them see the poison that they ingest daily, the radiations and technology, the people and toxic surroundings, the pointlessness of seeking humans to define a spiritual existence. To walk this path can lead to being murdered, for it is a path of honesty and bravery, a path of discernment and mirrors reflecting the truth of nature back onto itself. Vampires hate their reflections and may very well attack to protect their way of thinking, to speak poetically. So those are the 3 paths. Those who don't understand, a lot of times when occultists say the left-hand path or the right-hand path or the right hand of God or the left hand of Satanism or those sorts of things, it's about how you serve. The left being putting yourself first. Satanism teaching how can you take care of others if you can't take care of yourself. The right teaching to take care of others is taking care of yourself, and you're teaching yourself the same lessons. And the middle path, learning to find a balance somewhere in between, or the path of least resistance, or uninvolvement. These are the 3 paths that we have that we can choose from on a daily basis, and most of us will choose to continue to hop from path to path, never really disciplining ourselves to following any particular one, changing our minds over this or that, changing religions in times of hardship when things don't work for us, changing friends, deciding that these people don't serve our needs or interests or act in the way that we act or prefer them to act. These are the 3 paths. And I should add that none of the paths are evil. None of them are evil. Good and evil are concepts that we've learned to devise once more in the idea of control. That somehow our way is better than another's way of thinking. I'd like to quote a children's book that I found pretty fascinating. A sequel to Hansel and Gretel. The book was called The Eye of the Warlock, and I forget the author. But the book was about how there was treasure left over after Hansel and Gretel. And someone had devised a way to find a map and go seek out this treasure with a group of friends. This leading friend, his name was Rudy, or Rudiger. Rudy was for short. And he meets a warlock, an evil wizard. And, of course, even though the wizard aimed to deceive him, he says when they get to his castle and all of this, and they become ensnared in some form of a trap, he's faced with a decision. It's been a long time since I read this book, but it's pretty close to how it was written. And he said, sorry, my throat is still injured, and I'm choosing to make these videos anyway. Join me, Rudiger, and I will let your friends live. They can go free, but I want you to stay here and train and learn sorcery with me. Become my apprentice. If you do this, your friends will be let go. That's the clever way that the left might talk. It didn't lie. Let go. To where? For what? He says, but you're evil. Come now, Rudiger. Is a dog evil? The cat seems to think so. Is a cat evil? The bird seems to think so. Is the bird evil? The worm seems to think so. When you do what you do to survive, it isn't evil. It's the way of the world. And of course, he aimed to deceive them, and the moment that his friends left, they would have still been killed. But it brings you an interesting way of understanding the differences on how the left thinks, and serving themselves and his beliefs of what is good first. Serving others to do good for others on the right, or to find the balance in the middle, to know that there are no teachers. No matter how long you talk, no matter how many years you spend on each person, no matter how many paragraphs you form, and metaphors and stories to express your concepts, you cannot make a person understand anything that they don't wish to. They, humans, will have to reorder this information into familiar memories and emotions in terms that they're familiar with. They will teach themselves when they are ready to understand. So the middle path is actually the hardest path to follow. I really need to cut this video now. It hurts incredibly to talk, but I thought that my YouTube family might enjoy this story. I apologize for the lack of updates, and there will be very few in the future even as my voice returns to normal, as YouTube seems to greatly want to censor what I have to say, and what a lot of us have to say. I was banned recently, and I don't even think I can tell you why, even though the banning is completely contrary, specifically the opposite of the message of my video, which can now be found on Facebook, and for those who wish to add me, and read a lot of controversial things, and see a little humanity mixed in. My two Facebook pages are facebook.com/KevinChaosOfficial. That's my personal Facebook page. And facebook.com/KevinChaosMusic. That's a goofy music page, holding people over until I make my albums, which will have very much needed to talk about messages, but in formats and mediums of which people enjoy. Maybe danceable at times, maybe angry at other times, maybe overtly happy and euphoric at other times, depending on what I feel. In the meantime, I'm kind of showing off, or I was, before the throat problem, with the Daily Minute, which is a minute's worth of material every day to simply just have something to display and keep people interested, hoping people are wanting love, really. I'm Kevin Chaos, the Autistic Wizard, and I wouldn't say that I pride myself, but I like to show the world love, and one day I think people will look back at some of the works we've done here to say, wow, this person was ADHD, bipolar, autistic, Asperger's, OCD, PTSD person, or persons, as I hope to group others into this. They made this. They made this. Wow. And maybe have a little less hate or judgment in their hearts. You don't have to agree with the world, and the world doesn't have to agree with you. Not everything needs to be your way. In fact, constantly focusing on differences is going to keep you unhappy. Seeing what's the same with all of us, that's what's going to make you happy. I love you all. Peace be with you. Kevin Chaos.